We might need some sound here. Can you hear me? Hey, I forgot to put in my mic. Hello. Hang on, guys. Just getting my old microphone adjusted. Hey, everybody. It's Mike Meyers. Thank you, Alan. You're the best. What do we got going today? Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Mike Meyers COVID YouTube Ask Mike Anything live stream. The goal of this live stream is to provide those of us who are isolated by the coronavirus opportunities to continue to work on our corona studies. And now that, as we can see, corona suddenly, well, at least here in the Houston, Texas area, corona has dropped considerably. Our governor says we don't have to wear a mask. I'm a little paranoid about that. I'm going to continue to wear my mask for a couple more weeks until I see a few more numbers that make me a little bit more comfortable. But that's the way it is in Texas. But, you know, as the corona begins to drop and drop, what we'll be doing with this live stream is open. We'll see. We'll see. Da-da, da-da. Da-da. So I work on our corona studies. Sorry, Scott. Yeah, that's what I meant. To work on our corona studies. We're studying a virus together. Okay, so anyway, here's how this works. So it's 2 o'clock here, Central Time in Houston, Texas. So we go for 2 hours, or until the questions run out. So as long as you guys are asking questions, I'm here till 4 o'clock my time. But if the questions run out, it's no big deal if they do. Sometimes there's just less question days than others. It's no big deal. We end a little early. Also, do keep in mind on Fridays we got Dave Rush, DR, Ask Mike Anything, DRAMA, Drama. And if you're interested in Raspberry Pis, now keep in mind, guys, when I say Raspberry Pi, I know a lot of us are tempted to go, I don't want to deal with a Raspberry Pi. Well, actually, what Dave Rush is doing, he's doing a very, very good job of it too, I might add, is, yeah, you're learning about the Raspberry Pi, but really more in terms of how you can use Raspberry Pis as a very, very inexpensive tool to learn a lot about A+, Net+, Security+ type topics. And that's where Dave does a great job. He's been doing that now for months, and we like it more and more. So that is every Friday right here at the same channel, same time, 2 o'clock. It would be Dave Rush. Otherwise, it's just me. So I do keep in mind that a lot of you guys might be shy and you don't want to ask questions directly and all that. That's no big deal. If you're a shy person, just send me an email. I'm michaelm@totalsem.com. And just email me your questions, and I'm always glad to answer them that way. What I do discover is that I do get lots of questions via email, but most of them are what I would call soft skills. You know, how much longer is the current A+ going to work? And, you know, I'm currently vision impaired to a certain extent. How do I get a job in IT? Not so many technical questions, which is good. I guess it would make sense if people write those as emails. The only downside is they're not really shareable per se, so I just answer them directly. So haven't been forgetting about you. I'm going to work on my corona studies, Scott. Okay, the other thing do keep in mind is that like and subscribe this channel. I'm surprised how helpful that actually is. It really helps with advertising. I don't look at this as a money maker at all. I'm sure YouTube makes some money on it one way or another, but it does, there's a little bit, you know, to get some money involved. If you like and subscribe, so like and subscribe. And it helps, I get better ads. Isn't that crazy? I get better ads. All right. So let's see, who's up here today? We had Ernestino Gonzalez. Is he still? V is back. Good to see you, V. Josh the tech guy. There's somebody I haven't seen for a while. Andrew Parrish. Tollwood, of course. Victor. U4 Raymond. Good to see you again, too. William Jeske, good to see you again. Not a D. At least, oh, I'll keep doing something. I'll keep doing something, not. I don't know what it is, but something. Hanal Ganatra, you got the Core 1. Congratulations, big round of applause to you. And get that Core 2 knocked out, amigo. Patricia Grace, Nerd Fam, that's for sure. So Dave Rush, this Friday you've got accessing LAN resources from the internet. Port forwarding. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, cool. Port forwarding, DDNS, Grok, and others. Very cool. Jonathan Knipe. K is silent, I'm guessing. Hi, hello, hello. Hi, Mike. Does it, Alan Dugan, 2:04 p.m. Hi, Mike. Does it matter if your C drive is disk 0 or 1? No, not really. Your C drive is going to be whatever is visible to the boot order first within Windows. It's usually disk 0, but a lot of times if you're doing reinstallations, your system drive could still be something other than 0, and it'll work just fine. You could also do that by adjusting the boot order in BIOS, where you say boot from disk 1 before you boot to disk 2. And if you install Windows in that case, again, disk 1 will be the C drive in that case. There's nothing wrong with that at all. The only thing that we have to have, and again, this is also totally automatic, we don't have to worry about it, is when BIOS is done, UEFI has to be addressed so that UEFI knows where to boot to, and that's really all that matters. V, took one of your practice exams in Udemy. Okay, yeah, V, okay, you took one exam and failed. Okay, that's all right. That's what practice exams are for, right? I assure you that if you're taking lots of practice exams and passing them with flying colors, you probably got to take the test. So most of us, when we start taking practice exams, sure, we're going to fail. That's all right. That's what they're there for. That's why we call them practice. Do them again. Thao Tran, 2:04 p.m. Hi, Mike. Hi, Thao. I am new to the IT, okay? I am thinking of starting my career in either networking or cybersecurity. I have just registered for your classes. Network computer class is a good way to start. Of course it is. It's a great way. Of course, Thao, if you and I were talking together, I'd say, what are your passions? What do you enjoy? Do you play with your computers at home? You know, some fun stuff. But the bottom line is, you're picking a good way to start. Smarticus71. Hi, everyone. I'm taking Core 2 tomorrow morning. Good luck. Smarticus, do me a favor. Do not study tonight. Just take it easy. Letitia Baker. Hello, hello, Letitia. Good to see you. Andrew Parrish. Say nice things to other people. Good man. Well, I got a feeling we might have a slow day today. Oh, I do want to say something. I was going to do a thing on incremental versus differential backups today, but Dave Rush was kind enough to dig through, and if you look right here on the Total Seminars channel, we did one a few months ago. And it's more than just incremental versus differential. It's more of a backup in general kind of conversation. So please check that out. Scott or Dave, I'm hoping one of you guys can put that link back up again so that everybody can see that for incremental versus differential. Henal Ganatra. Mike, how do I get an IT support job at a big company like Apple or Facebook? I have 5 years experience working at a university, and I love First Line Forward because I love people like you. Okay, first of all, I don't know why you would want to do, why you want to work at a big company. I personally have always worked for small companies, greatly preferred that. I'm not a big fan of bureaucracies. You know, if you've got a really, really small company, there could be differences. Like here in the States, we're always worried about health insurance, of course. But in general, I'm curious why you just want to work for a big company. Certain big companies have pretty, you know, Amazon does not have the best employee-employer track record you've ever seen out there. The important thing, and I'll tell you more than anything else, is that we've done a couple of different videos here on getting entry-level jobs and writing resumes. Just read those. And now there's plenty of work out there. If you were here in Houston, Texas, and you had bilateral symmetry, and you know you could speak the king's language, whatever's being spoken at any given moment, I can get you a job. De nada, muy fácil. It always surprises me when I hear about people say they can't get work, and I'm not saying this is at you at all, Hanali. I just like you better than anybody else, so I thought I'd pick on you. Most of the time, when I run into people who say they can't get a job, I start talking to them and I discover that they have their own limitations. They're not applying for all the jobs that they should be applying for. Maybe they're married, or maybe they've got parents who are ill and they have to stay in a little town, things like that. But in general, in IT, especially entry-level IT, if you've got the chutzpah to bust a move and get out there and try for jobs, there's plenty of work out there. Absolutely plenty of work. John Dope 207. Hi Mike, I recently purchased your A+ Core winning Udemy course. I've been wondering. All I need to study the exam. Okay, so Josh, here's my rule sets, and this is what I've done for a long time. In order to pass any certification, I don't care, it doesn't have to be CompTIA, it could be Microsoft, it could be nursing, I don't care. In general, I've discovered everybody needs three things. Number one, they need a video. Number two, they need a book. And number three, they need practice questions. And if you were only going to buy one thing at all, I would say get backup questions, practice questions, more than anything else. Practice questions are critical. From there, you know, maybe video, maybe book, but you really need all three things. And how you use them is different for different people. Some people like to watch a video, then read a book, and then do some practice questions. Some people like to do practice questions and then do a video and then a book. Everybody's different. It has to do with how you like to learn. So in my opinion, you need practice questions, you need a book, and you need video. So I feel you have 1/3 of what you need. Oh! Where'd it go? So you might be saying, what else do I need? And what other sources do I need? Well, one of the things you're going to need are practice questions. So we sell practice questions here at Total Seminars. So you can get 50% off all of our CompTIA Total Tester practice exams and Total Tester bundles. So Total Tester is what I call my practice questions, all right? We separate the performance-based questions from the multiple choice. It's actually two products. Yes, I know. So bundles are when you get the Total Sims, which is our performance-based questions, and our Total Tester, which is a multiple choice, all in one thing, okay? In order to take advantage of this, just got to go to www.comptia, erase, www.totalsem, totalsem.com, head over to our merchant area, grab yourself some practice questions or Sims, and then just before you check out, type in the code MARS, M-A-R-S 2021, and you get it at 50% off. We're already one of the best practice questions out there, and now we're 50% off on top of that. So, woohoo! So I'm happy about that. Looking for questions, Smarticus 71. Andrew Rosenstein. It's Frankenstein. Hi, Mike. Working through your Network Plus class. Just got a job as an IT support specialist. Well done, Andrew. I mean, that's really what it's all about, is getting work, right? So congratulations to you. Well done. Smarticus 71. Which takes longer to configure and restore, incremental or differential? I wouldn't say neither one would take longer to restore, but this is embarrassing. I have forgotten the difference between incremental versus differential. Hang on, real quick double quadruple check, and then I won't have to. Okay, yeah, okay, sorry, I had to double check things. So with a differential backup, that doesn't make any sense. I've literally forgotten what's the difference between incremental versus differential. And once I see it, I'll sit there and remember it instantly. So a differential backup copies files that have changed since the last full backup. Okay. Okay, so, all right, so incremental versus, with incremental, you back up like every single day, in average. So with incremental, you're gonna have Mondays, you'll have like your Sunday full backup, then your Monday backup, whatever's done on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So as your days progress on a incremental backup, you get more backups, which could be tapes or whatever it might be. With incremental, you only have your Sunday backup, and then you just have one backup that keeps getting bigger and bigger, but it's only one backup. So I would say that differential is the easier way to back up. See how many people start texting me on the back channel on that one. Spewy is howling because she hasn't been fed for, what, an hour?
About that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. David Zientra passed Linux Plus. Well done. Elbow. Elbow likes my hat. It's my hat. Crazy Homebody Girl. Good afternoon. Good to see you. Gonna have some winded up. Okay, just looking for questions. That's all there is to it, V. Hit the books, man. Just hit the books. 2:09 p.m. Oh, that was the increment versus differential. Got that one. Andrew Parrish passed something. That's Andrew Rosenstein. I can't keep up. I'm trying. Alec Carter. Hey, Mike, this is 2:09 p.m. Hey, Mike, what's the difference between BIOS and UEFI? Don't most motherboards these days only come with UEFI? Sure. BIOS is or was, depending on how you want to look at this, the original code that was written on every motherboard so that your computer could talk to the assumed hardware of your system. For example, I mean, if you got a motherboard, you got slots to snap in RAM, right? So they're assuming you put in RAM. If you look at the back of a motherboard, you got keyboard hole, USB, stuff like that. So back in the old days, BIOS was used. BIOS was software. Actually, technically, it was firmware because it was burned onto a ROM chip. But that was the code that got your computer started. The problem with BIOS is that 10 years ago, everything in your computer had been pretty much upgraded to at least 32-bit, if not 64-bit. 64-bit operating systems existed 10 years ago. 64-bit or even 128-bit data pathways for memory. I mean, I could go on and on how we got bigger. But the one piece of code that still ran like the original Intel 8086 was BIOS. They never upgraded BIOS. You couldn't even get into multitasking mode or any of that stuff until the operating system kicked it over. And BIOS didn't do much. And there's a lot of stuff the big guys wanted BIOS to be able to do. Sure, we wanted BIOS to be at least 32-bit, if not 64-bit. But more than that, we want BIOS to be more configurable. We want BIOS to be able to do things like we've never thought about before. Like, what if I want to just boot up a computer and I just want to boot up a web page? Boot up a computer. So a new BIOS would have to have a lot more features on it than the old BIOS. So that it was pushed by Intel over 10 years ago, called the Extensible Firmware Interface, or EFI. Different companies were working on it in different ways, caused a lot of confusion. So over time, they came up with a unified EFI, or UEFI, which is now everybody uses. Today's BIOS is UEFI. Can you say UEFI is BIOS? Yeah, but you won't have a lot of friends. But it is. Any basic input-output services that are sitting on a motherboard are going to be BIOS. UEFI is a much more advanced, much more powerful BIOS, and it would not make sense to confuse those terms. So sure, let's go ahead and keep saying BIOS for the old stuff, and UEFI for the new stuff. Keeping in mind that UEFI still does the same job. It does a little bit more in terms of boot environment and things like that, but that's the big thing that it does. Don't most motherboards these days only come with UEFI? Yes. But again, Alec Carter, don't be afraid if somebody says, UEFI is BIOS. I guess it is, but why create that confusion, you know? When people talk about BIOS, we want to talk about the old school BIOS. Oh, by the way, somebody said UEFI is BIOS that you can use a mouse on. That's not true. I was using mice on traditional BIOSes back in the late 80s. Back in the late 80s! Veselin Litov, good to see you again. Veselin. Am I close? Am I even close? Hey Mike, I should say I like the practice test, but I am a bit disappointed that you cannot review your mistakes in exam mode. Hey Veselin, we got to do it. I want to recreate as close as I can to the actual look and feel of the real CompT exam. So I have to make decisions like that. And I think it's better that if you're in final mode, you cannot review your mistakes. The output that you get in exam mode is very similar to the output you get in the actual CompT exams. Quabena Akins. Quabena? How am I doing on that one? 210. Quabena Akins. Mike, would you say offsite backups is a great way to fight against ransomware attacks? Offsite backups. No. Ransomware attacks. So, Quabena, God, when people ask me questions like this, I'm like, are you trying to read some question off of some CompT exam? You're going to get me in trouble. Offsite backups is a great way to fight against ransomware attacks. I would not, no. In fact, I don't think offsite backups would help at all on ransomware attacks. Ransomware attacks is a form of malware. Offsite backups might allow you to restore with more confidence a system that's been trashed by your malware. But even then, a ransomware attack, the big thing of ransomware, let's think about this. A ransomware attack is going to lock up your boot somehow. Yeah, I can't. Quaben, I wish I had more context for why you're asking me this question. I would say no. I could think of a lot of other stuff I'd rather have to fight against ransomware attacks, like user training. Bison Daniel, hey Mike, any chance we would see a server? No, we're not going to do Server Plus. I'm not. And Al Ganatra again. Hey man, I'm from the UK. Ah, excellent. I appreciate you like me. I like you too. We're the best. I'm currently employed at a small university, hoping to broaden my horizons. I'm a very people-oriented person. You're going to do fine in this industry. And Al, just based on what way you're typing and your enthusiasm, you're going to be fine. Valtran, I don't have any experience in IT. Will Network Plus and or Securitas land me a job in IT? No. Val, here we go. Sorry for you guys to have to hear this again. If you think that you're going to go out and get some certifications and then suddenly get a job, you don't even understand why certifications exist. So let's take a moment and talk about this. Certifications, and this isn't even just IT certifications, this can be in any industry. Certifications are tool sets that allow you to prove that you have picked up practical incremental knowledge on some topic. Most certifications in the IT world are done through computer testing, where you sit online, you go tippity tap, tap, tap. A certification is never going to replace good experience. But it does show that you have, number one, motivation to learn stuff in a particular topic area, which is huge, right? And number two, you have the wherewithal to make that happen for yourself. So, I mean, those are really the big things that make certification work. Let's start off. The only thing a certification is really going to do for it's going to put your name at the top of a stack of other people's resumes. It's going to get you through the human resource departments. So it's going to help you get to the human resource departments. What's going to get you a job is your experience, and if you're inexperienced, then you're going to get entry-level jobs. And what's going to get you a job at entry level is your enthusiasm, your work ethic. What you've been doing in the past is important. Well, it wasn't IT security. Who cares? Were you a taxi driver for Uber? Were you a good Uber driver? Put that stuff down. Do not ever look at certifications as something you can sit in your bedroom and take some tests and then suddenly get a job. That is a incorrect way to do it. Certifications do not get you a job. They just get your foot in the door. Mm-hmm. Here, look at this. Okay, Thal, on top of this, now you have a bachelor's degree in bioengineering. So, Thal Tran, make sure you understand this. You have a bachelor's degree in, what was it? Bioengineering. Okay. Now, there's something about bioengineering you like. So go ahead and switch fields, switch in IT, but you should consider doing bioengineering work. Sell bioengineering software. Is there equipment used in bioengineering? Computers equipment that's popular. Certain network setups. You see where I'm coming from? Don't throw away your bioengineering experience. Move into IT, but take advantage of the knowledge you already have. Oh, here comes all. Guys, it's always very frustrating because my chat scrolls, but it scrolls in blurbs. So I'll be sitting there reading, and all of a sudden, and then I lose track where I am, and I'm looking for everybody's questions. Now, we got Scott Jernigan and Dave Rush helping. Oh, dear. Okay, I think I found my place back. Smarticus 71. What is a symptom of a rootkit? Well, see, this is interesting because rootkits in and of themselves don't have a common symptom. The problem with a rootkit is because the way they install themselves, sometimes they can be challenging. Now today with secure operating system and stuff like that, rootkit is pretty much no longer a thing. But of course you have to have all that turned on, which not a lot of people do. But I wouldn't say that there are any symptoms of a rootkit. God, Smarticus. See, here again. So Smarticus 71 is going, well, I'm looking here on your product here, and it says, here are the symptoms of a rootkit. And it's like, oh, did I write that in 2012? Jane Slayer, 213. I used your practice questions to pass the A+ and Net+. Thank you. You've been around before. Now, if only writing resumes was as easy as passing certs. Jane Slayer, we've got an entire video here in the Total Seminars channel talking about writing resumes. Please watch it. I think it's all you'll ever need. Crazy Homebody Girl. I sent an email to Kathy that I won the competitions Monday. Not sure if I did something wrong or didn't push enough. I didn't get a response. Yeah, Crazy Homebody Girl, we're not ExxonMobil here. We're a little tiny mom and pop company, and we've got, a very small staff. And a lot of them, because of COVID, don't come into the office. So if it was Monday, well, yeah, you need to stay on top of Kathy. Just send her another email, Crazy Homegirl. It's no big deal. Kathy does what she can. We won't forget you, I promise. Young Frankenstein reference. I must have missed it. What is a symptom of rootkit? Is that one? I don't know. Yeah, incremental removes the archive bit. So that's how I remember it. The increment, yes, I should have remembered this before. Incremental is like an inchworm. He just does a little bit. Ulysses Farrar just snuck in. Bad hair day, Kevin. What are you saying? It's just my hair. No. Watch my 422. I know. I forget, Patricia. What can I say? On 622. We got some good Cyrillic spelling here. 216. Hello, Mike. Hello. Can I just call you Ivan? Because I don't read. Who will win with Arcsight or Splunk? Splunk. Matsuo. Hello, Mike. Hello, Matsuo. Andrew Parrish, 216. Hey, Mike, have you ever ran a VM inside another VM just for kicks? Yes, it works. I did it with VMware. I was not able to do it with Virtual PC. Matsuo's 55% through my course. I have many, A+ course. It's been a wonderful experience. Glad you're enjoying it. Glad. Kevin Lopez, will the live streams end now that Texas is opening back up? Probably not. I'm not sure how much control I have over these things, guys. You'll be surprised. Tolowit bias. Haha. Danny Vossern, 2:18 p.m. Hi, Mike. Is it better to study the Core 1 first and do the exam, or study the all-in-one on your own time? I like studying for both myself, but, you know, to be honest with you, I'd always done the A+ as one exam. Yes, the A+ has been 2 exams for a long time. However, the 2 exams, the 501, 502, 601, 602, 701, 702, 801, 802, 901, 902, 1001, 1002. I've been at this a while. The individual exams, you would normally have like a 30% overlap. It was big. It was big for the longest time. And so that's where I got into the do it all in one. And McGraw-Hill was doing this all-in-one series, so it kind of fit together, you know, one big book to cover both exams. Starting with the 1001, 1002, which are the current A+ exams we're on. CompTIA, and I give this all to James Stanger, who works up at CompTIA, really did a good job of separating both the A+, 1001 and the 1002. So I went back to McGraw-Hill a few years ago when the new A+ came out, and I was like, hey guys, let me go ahead and I'll do 2 books now, because really they're much more, the exams are pretty separate. There's a little bit of overlap, but not like it used to be. And McGraw-Hill's like, no, we just want 1 book. So we've tried to do split books a few times, but it's actually been not very popular, because people are all like, oh, I want just 1 book for each exam. Oh, wait, I have to pay the money for 2 books? No, I'll just take 1 book. No. So Hanal Ganatra had a bad proctor. Hanal, do me a favor. This is just for you. Please send me an email about your experience. Hanal Ganatra, 2:18 p.m. Hanal, I got to be pronouncing that right. Please send me an email, michaelm@total7.com, and just tell me what happened. I'm extremely curious to hear about people's experience taking the exams at home, and I would like to add your experience as well. How do you remember USB speeds? I gave up remembering those, and they didn't come up for me on the exam. Okay, well, that's good. We don't know how many actual questions are in the whole thing for CompTIA A+. It's probably somewhere between 600 and 1,000 is my guess. And you only get 90 of those questions per exam. So the fact that it doesn't come up for you, good, I guess good. To me, USB is something that one should memorize. Yeah, there are known questions on there. I don't have any magic way to memorize the different speeds. I end up having to review them every now and then. The living glitch is UEFI biased. Hilarious. Frickin' hilarious, people. Keep your day job. I hope I get Mike Meyers as a proctor for my next exam. There you go. You wouldn't want me because I would ask much harder questions with the way you ask. I am not super familiar with Arcsight or Splunk. I have messed with Splunk a little bit, and I've seen Arcsight working for a living, but I've got to be honest. Hold on. Hello, computer. Okay, whoosh. What was I talking about? Oh, so I'm afraid I don't have a lot of experience on those. I apologize. If anybody else knows the difference between Arcsight or Splunk, feel free to contribute in here. Ernestino, hey Mike, I am running any computer. I'm running any computer with UEFI bias. Okay. The living glitch. Is it worth knowing some difference between firmware when installing a Linux distro? Generally, no. But then again, keep in mind, when I'm talking about Linux distros, I'm talking about desktop distros like, Ubuntu and stuff like that, which install really well. I couldn't make that same boast for a lot of other Linux distros. Is it worth knowing some difference between firmware when installing a Linux distro? Generally, no. Generally, no. David Zienta, first UEFI bias I had was Asus. I don't even remember. Pretty sure mine was an Intel motherboard. Phoenix 333. Hi, Mike. Do you have any training for Azure? Scott Jernigan. Do we have any training for Azure? I always forget what we have out there. Total Seminars does a lot of training out there, guys. I'm going to let Scott Jernigan help me out with the answer there. I don't think we do, is the right answer. SpongeBob Dean Carroll. Do you like Rapapa the Rapper on a PS1? And I do not speak console. I have the best platform for gaming. It's called a freaking PC with a good graphics card in it. Ulysses Farrar. Mike, if I buy a voucher from Total Sem, a discount voucher from Total Seminars, does it have an expiration date? Yes. It's 1 year. Kevin Lopez put it in there right beneath there. There you go. Scott Jernigan answered the question. We concentrate more on Cloud Plus than Azure. Hey, Mike, you think I'm running Gateway Windows 10? I lost you guys again. Uh, 2:26 p.m. Corbetta Akins. I was thinking if you have a hot site and your data is locked up, you could avoid paying the ransom and restore your data from the backup. If you have a hot site, why would you need anything else? Corbetta, with a hot site, you have real-time, constant secondary source system. All right, so Quabina, this is a great type of question that you should consider bringing in to the Discord channel. My buddy Jose Braden has a Mike Meyers unofficial Discord channel. It seems to be most active on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays immediately after the live streams, either mine or Dave's on Friday. However, it is quickly gaining a life of its own. The problem we have, Corbina, right here is that it's hard because the way the questions come at me for me to be able to answer it. But what we can do, and first of all, you're always welcome to ask questions here. All you want. Sometimes it might be hard for me to answer. But the Discord channel, and Scott Jernigan, can I impose on you to put up a link to the Discord channel? The Discord channel, so not only can you write in questions, but more importantly, there is a voice channel, a live channel, like a Zoom meeting. And if I'm not in there, there's plenty of smart folks who are, and are always glad to help. So, Quabena, please check out the Discord channel. It is not officially the Mike Meyers Discord channel. You guys understand? I have no control if somebody's going to say naughty things that, politically correct people have a challenge with. I can't guarantee your safety there like I can here. But it's a good group of folks that really know their stuff. Quabena, please consider joining the Discord channel and ask the same question. Daryl D. Adams Jr., 227. Hi, Mike. Currently studying for A+ exams. Okay, I want to know what's the best way to absorb the knowledge from your book. Okay, well, Daryl, it's really up to you. The best way, everybody has a different methodology for learning. Some people are readers. Some people like to listen to books on tape. Some people are kinesthetic where they have to do everything practically. And it's really your job to figure out what kind of learner you are. One of the reasons I like the holy trinity of book, videos, and practice questions is that those three venues seem to pretty much always cover whatever is needed out there in terms of people's learning process. I get people who get frustrated at me. They go, well, Mike, you told me to buy a book and videos and practice questions, and I barely ever open the book. Why? First of all, never create a scenario and just put the word why at the end, because that just chaps me. But more importantly, I guess the answer to why is because I don't know ahead of time what kind of studier you are. And as much as I'd love to be able to give everybody who considers my training material a 20 to 30 minute personal talk about what your needs, motivations, presentations, learning strengths are, I can't. So I picked those three. Mike, one more question from Ivan. What will be your advice for detecting phishing attacks using SIEM system and receiving all necessary logs? Gosh. One more, it would be your advice for detecting phishing attacks. Detecting phishing attacks using SIEM system and receiving all necessary logs. Okay, I can answer that. The trick is, if you're going to get a phishing attack, so forget SIEM for a minute because you're not going to get any questions like this. But what you will be getting is logs and what has happened. There's plenty of questions like that, both on the Net Plus and Security Plus. So the question you're asking is, this is 227. What will be your advice for detecting phishing attacks using SIEM system and receiving all necessary logs? I'm going to rephrase your question. Mike, assuming I got the logs, how can I tell if I got a phishing attack? Well, in general, something is going to be trying to pretend to be somebody else. So you're going to be looking at DNS records that are, where the DNS is being robbed somehow of its proper information, maybe in the cache. You could be looking at ARC poisoning scenarios. Well, you said phishing. I'm making this harder than it is. You said phishing and I was thinking something else is the problem. What logs would I use to determine a phishing attack? I don't know if I'd actually be using logs. I mean, I might be going through the individual emails and breaking out their headers a little bit, but with a phishing attack, I mean, a phishing attack is going to be obvious by the type of attack that manifests. there'd have to be something in the log where it's using somebody's name, right? Because, I mean, that's what phishing is all about. And so I don't know. Sorry, Evan. The Living Glitch says, there are rootkits in anti-piracy software. Well, that would be bad if there were. I'm going to have to disagree with you there. You guys are typing in strange words. I do not understand these words of your people. Okay, here we go. 2:31 p.m. Nicholas Pratt, hello. Pass my IT fundamentals all in one book. You should congratulate Scott Jernigan. They put my name on it for marketing purposes, but the real author to IT fundamentals is Scott Jernigan. I'd love to take some credit for that fine book, but that's all Scott. And Ernestino Gonzalez, VMware not something. Oh man, see again, Ernestino, that's why I get in trouble, because the way the questions are asked, I lose track where I'm at, so I'm sorry. Ernestino, please join us in the Discord channel. Keep asking here all you want, but I'm going to try my best to let you guys understand what the problem is here. So you ask me a question and I answer it, and then later you're trying to fill in the blanks, and now it's 10 minutes later and I'm lost. Massey AN 232. Hi, Mike. Hi, Massey. Jonathan Knipe. Just started your A+ course. Welcome aboard, Jonathan. Glad to have you. Ulysses Ferrer. Oh, look at this. Scott Jernigan getting the big pat on the back. I'm a beast, breh, at 2:33. I failed the core 2 twice now. Oof. I'm a beast, breh. I'm a beast, breh. I need you to do this. I'm a beast, breh. Send me an email. Send an email to michaelm@totalsem.com. You and I need to talk. I want to know why you failed that test twice. It is imperative that you send me an email. I'll make it worth your while. Send me an email and remind me who you are, and you and I have a conversation, because you're not going to fail it a third time. Okay, now here's something I haven't heard before. So Nicholas Pratt is saying, I took my IT fundamentals. It's intense, you can't move your head. So anybody who's taken an online exam, can you type in live chat? Just type in, I was able to move my head, or I was not able to move my head. I want to see if that is a common thing. That's bizarre. What if I have to scratch something? I mean, come on. Metsuo wants my Steam username. I have not been playing much games lately, but I'm Senor Pepe on Steam. You could probably talk me into a game. Just so busy right now. It's just ridiculous. Mr. G, remembering RAM pins is far worse than USB speeds. I don't know. Jonathan Knipe, what phone is this? The Galaxy Fold? Yeah, Galaxy Fold. I've got a groovy Galaxy Fold. I'm the coolest chick ever. Yeah, again, the foldable phones are kind of fun. You know, really just taking advantage of the large screen space more than anything else. Oh goodness, we got a lot of questions today. Goodness, guys, I'm trying. Thou Tran, how do you get a feel of different IT tracks? I don't have experience, so I'm not sure which track to follow. Do you have a class that helps? Okay, you have many questions. How do I get a feel of different IT tracks? Coming here, asking questions, taking a look at the different types of certifications available. And that's going to be your big thing. There's hundreds, thousands of different job titles. Somebody who pulls network cable is an IT. Someone who writes code is an IT. Someone who fixes routers is an IT. Someone who's a wireless network specialist is an IT. Someone who configures cloud systems is an IT. The breadth is so incredible, Thautron, that it's impossible for me to answer it for you. Most people find themselves by starting with more basic certifications like the CompTIA A+, CompTIA A+, or Net+, often find that by learning about these certifications, it opens doors for you to see what opportunities are out there and find out what you like. Austin 350 Austin at 241. Took pen test a few weeks ago. Austin, I've never taken it. I've heard it's pretty hard. It was hard to see it. Failed by 24 points. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm following exam objectives, practice test labs, total 7 pen test videos, and retake it on the weekend. What else do you recommend? Austin 350 Austin. You'll be another one who needs to contact me. Austin 350 Austin. I've been hearing some stuff about pen test, and I've got some ideas. Send me an email, michaelm@totalsem.com. Nothing that's top secret, guys. It just takes a while, and it's going to be specialized towards this one person. That's why I'm reticent to just start talking. I want to see exactly what practice questions you're using, Austin 350 Austin. That's the main thing. You're definitely using the right videos. Ernestino, amigo, no comprendo, man. Ernestino, save that for the Discord. I promise you. I mean, we can keep trying, but you're in such small pieces. I don't understand what you're asking. Sorry, buddy. Ernestito's being funny. He puts why. Chad Yarborough at 242. Hello, Mike. Hello, Chad. I was curious about Linux Plus. One day, somebody will do a Linux Plus. I can't say anything else. Ernestino Gonzalez. Hey, Mike, I delete System 32 in Virtual Machine. Oh, that's not good, my friend. I think Linux Plus is a very good certification, Chad. We're working on stuff, but we don't have anything currently. So Nicholas Pratt says he read the whole book front to cover in Fed. I read whole book front to cover in Fed in February? Thinking about paying $100 for the extra test. What is Nicholas Pratt? I have no idea what an extra test is. What is this? Talk to me, man. Are you talking about the practice questions that I put at the back? I don't give away for free any practice questions. I give away some samples. But if you want real practice questions, you got to pay money or you get 50% off just being here. Oh, Ernestito, are you getting confusing, amigo? Jane Slayer says the books are worth it. Everybody's different, you know. Berzi Milis. Hello, are you willing to give 30 minutes online talk on network security to university students? I mean, I might. It depends, Berzi. I'm not going to... Does it completely offend you that I'm a capitalist? I'm always glad to contribute and help out where I can. Here, Berzi. Send me an email. Tell me what you got. And if you're not going to pay me, come up with a very sad story why I need to do this to help out somebody who's in great need, and you'll probably talk me into it. Yeah, thank you, person who writes in Cyrillic, whose name I can't pronounce. I'm going to call you Ivan. Sorry, man. I don't have all the answers. I work on it, though. I try. Syed Hussein. Hello, Mike. How do we know if firewall is blocking internet? Because you can't get to something. Probably the easiest way to do is you would know. Do you want to know if you have anything being blocked? Well, if you have a local firewall on your host, you can certainly inspect that yourself and see what's being blocked. Are you worried that you might be firewalled between you and the internet with some network-based firewall? Well, first of all, I guarantee you are, and we're glad they're there. There is a firewall up there. Now the question is what is that firewall doing? If you have administrative access to the firewall, you can log into the firewall, you can see what it's going to do. If you don't, then you can't. It's just that easy. There's no way to sit at a computer where you got a firewall 2 routers away or whatever it is that you don't have access to that you can say for sure that a firewall is blocking something. Maybe you just might get you go to www.youreallyshouldn'tbehere.com and you get a 404 error or something like that. So, yeah, I'm not aware to do that. I'm not aware of a way to do that. Okay, Fact Factory, 2:46 p.m. Hey, Mike, hope you're doing well. After getting my A+, I was able to lock down a computer field tech. Oh, well done. Congratulations. Do you have any recommendations as to where one should take their IT career after this? Network Plus. Fact Factory, I got to tell you, Network Plus is the most important certification you'll never need. You very rarely see jobs that say Network Plus, but man, the fundamentals and the understanding you get. Look, I know everybody's got a limited amount of money. I'm not trying to try to sell you more training materials because it's, I'm behind on my mortgage. That's not the case. I'm just telling you, the biggest bang for the buck in terms of, wow, is that ever cool, in any IT course I have ever taught is Network Plus. It is the first time where people really understand what DNS is, where they really understand what DHCP is, where they really understand just doing IP4 versus IPv6, where they really understand routing versus switching. It's such a great course, and will make any other networking course you take for the rest of your life a lot easier. A lot easier. Sydney and Craig D. Mike, you cracked me up. Oh, I cracked myself up, Sydney. Sydney, not Cindy, Sydney. Sydney and Craig D, that's 2 people, but now you refer to yourself the I. Just like the royal we, but backwards. I started your course, it's fantastic. Thank you very much, Sydney. Sydney, I'm saying it right. William Jeske, as a PC gamer, do you have any reaction to today's what did AMD say today? Don't write it down, because by the time you guys post it, I'll have looked it up. AMD's releasing a new gaming card? Is that what's... We can sure use some more gaming cards right now. This is published March 3rd. AMD is releasing a new RX 67 XT for the spring. High refresh 1440p gaming. I think that would be great for AMD to have a card. I don't know if anybody's been trying to find an RTX card over the last 2 months. I've been desperately trying to buy, I wanted to get either a 2070 or 2080. I can't get them. I mean, I literally have Discord apps that are running that yell at me if anybody has any in stock. And when anything pops up, it's on for seconds, and then it's gone. It's very frustrating right now. So I would say good for AMD. I could use some more good video cards. Edwin, pass the Network Plus. All right. Well done. Mike, people say for the A+ exam studied 2 or 3 months. I don't. No, Guillermo, you study, Guillermo, 2:48 p.m. Mike, people say for the A+ exam studies 2 or 3 months. I'm not against 2 or 3 months. For me, it's usually like about 220, 250 hours for most people to successfully study for the A+. If you're a really, really good tech, that could be down to 40 hours. If you're not a good tech, it could be more than that. But, everybody's a little bit different there. Are you studying too much? No, Guillermo, you're not studying too much. In fact, you're probably, if you've been at this 2 to 3 months and you're only on chapter 10, I mean, seems like you're not studying enough, I guess. Again, we'd have to ask more. Sydney and Craig D. Timmy the Wonder Poodle. Everybody likes Timmy the Wonder Poodle. Why not? Ernestino, you need to ask better questions, man. They're going to keep cutting you, dude. I don't want you to go away. I just want you to ask good questions. Red TB3 just shows up now. Where have you been? Scott Guillermo Moreno at 2:58 is telling me I need to answer my question, bro. Did I miss a question? Scott Jernigan, help me out. Guillermo, just keep posting it up there. I'll see it eventually, man. I answered him. Okay. Metsuo, what got you interested in the IT world and what was your first PC build like? I got interested in the IT world. I was living with a bunch of guys who had a stereo store, and they were also into computing. But this isn't PCs, guys. This is mini computers like PDP 9s and PDP 11s and stuff like that. But they brought home a computer once. It was called an S100 bus. It was running an operating system called CPM. And it was the first time I ever played with a word processing program. So this would have had to have been mid-1980s, maybe early-ish 1980s, 83, 84. Yeah. And it was just really cool. I had 8-inch floppy drives, and it was really the first time that I'd worked with a small operating system before. I mean, I'd done stuff on mainframes, but it fascinated me. And have all this direct control, no job control language, that was so bizarre. How do you run this? I mean, everything's running locally. It's bizarre. And I just got interested there. So I guess that would be where it started. Yeah, so crazy homebody girl, are you really not allowed to move your head? Well, we're told people right here today have said they're getting yelled at for moving their head. So the living glitch. People that know information about technology is the range IS. Oh, sorry, buddy. See, it's again where I get in trouble with these gaps. 2:52 p.m. World Barnardization. World Barnardization. 350. I passed my 1001, but was under the impression I should have been able to increase font size by clicking Control and scrolling mouse. I was therefore too far forward. Wow. Okay, well, clearly moving your head is an issue. Thank you, World Barnardization. Oof. Thank you for the input. That's good stuff for us to know. The living glitch. How much of a hypervisor is just emulating hardware? How much of a hypervisor is just emulating hardware? So hypervisors are not emulators, they're virtualizers. So you can't emulate with a hypervisor. There is a small degree of emulation, but that's usually done at individual device driver levels. So we shouldn't even use the word emulation when talking about a hypervisor. Even though technically there is some emulation done, the emulation is very, very low level stuff. Almost like if you got a video card and you use another brand of video card and it works for that video card, which happens sometimes, especially if you're buying within one brand or using reference drivers, then that'll work. So that's kind of like the same thing. So let's take a look. How much of a hypervisor is just emulating hardware? So the answer to your question, the living glitch is 0, nothing. Hypervisors are not emulators, really. Mr. Z, is there an official Wireshark? If so, can you video from basics to advanced? Mr. Z, is that all you want from me? Is to do? That's like Mr. Z going, hey, teach us how to play chess. I'm pretty sure Wireshark does have a certification. I haven't looked at it in a while. WCNA certification. Wireshark Certified Network Analyst. That seems to be the only certification I'm aware of. I have never taken it. I don't know anything about it. The thing that blows me away about Wireshark more than anything else is that every time I think that I've got a basic handle on Wireshark, somebody else shows me some other monstrous thing that I didn't even know existed. And then suddenly, wow, I can see all this. Sometimes it's little things like using TCP follow to put together a TCP stream and see what the results are. In other cases, it's been stuff that makes sense when you hear about it, but I never thought about it before. And that is like, for example, you have certificates on your system, right? So you can use Wireshark to use the certificates, including real-time certificates that are being brought down from other parties, and you can decode stuff and put it into Wireshark. I mean, it makes sense when you think about how TLS works, you know, but to actually do it in Wireshark is very cool. So the bottom line is that Wireshark is such a powerful tool that somebody like me, sorry, yawning, that somebody like me who actually has been leaning on Wireshark for 20 plus years still finds himself discovering whole new pieces of it. It's not like some little extra way to use the ping command. That I'm cool with. It's just the amount of stuff. So, and then you want me to teach everything from beginning to end. I don't even know what that is. I don't know. The whole, what could there all be? I will look into it. I do think that there's a lack of good Wireshark training out there. The other downside is once you get past some pretty basic Wireshark training, most people aren't interested in other aspects of it. Most people aren't interested in learning everything there is to do with Wireshark. But, you know, so that can be a bit of a challenge too. Teacher also, capitalist with a heart of gold. That's me. Okay, so Nicholas, you're still using this word extra exam practice. Nicholas Pratt, you got to tell me what you're talking about, man. Oh, thank you. Okay, for the person, you're Ukrainian. Thanks for correcting me. I'm so Savastoslav. I'm sorry, Daryl, with this. Okay. So we've done, I see Nicholas Pratt just chimed in and says, also interested in Wireshark training. We've done at least 2 Ask Mike Anythings on Wireshark in here. At least, it's certainly at least got all the basics out of the way. It's always tricky with a tool like Wireshark to create what I call reactive training. Reactive training is like somebody, like for example, Nicholas saying, hey Mike, I'm interested in Wireshark, which is a good thing. But then I'd react, as opposed to me sitting there taking some time and developing a complete Wireshark course. Man, I'll bet the Wireshark people would love that. Yeah, let me keep that in mind, guys. Oh, Guillermo, I don't know what your question is, amigo. I'm sorry. Guillermo keeps saying, Mike, answer my question, bro, but I can't find your question. The other problem is, Guillermo, if I try to scroll up in this interface, I'll lose where I am with people's questions. So it's really hard for me. I'm very, very sorry. Scott Jernigan, can you help me out and scroll up and see if we can find Guillermo's original question? He's yelling at me for not answering, and I apologize for that. I definitely want to answer it. All right, Nicholas, good luck, man. Sydney and Craig D, do you have Instagram? No, not really. Is there a reason I should have Instagram? I bet I use almost no social networking of any kind. Another huge scroll. What did I think of the movie Pirates of Silicon Valley? I liked it. It was good. Goodbye, Ernestino. I'm sorry we had a little problem there. Come back. We'll figure it out, man. Looking for questions. Teresa Russell. TRS-80. I had a TRS-80. I think I still have a TRS-80. TRS-80, Commodore 64, Commodore VIC. Got a bunch of these things. Oh, okay. Thank you, Scott. Guillermo, we found your question. Study 2 to 3 months. Oh, Scott answered him too. Okay, I'm going to move on. All right, Guillermo, I think I got you covered. You work 40 hours. All right, so look, Guillermo, most certification is done by people who are working, okay? You're getting new certifications, but you already have a job. So it's a nights and weekends thing, all right? So let's say you go with me, and like you're the average person, you need about 220 hours to study for the A+, okay? So for me to study 220 hours for the A+, that on average, it gives me about 20 hours a week, because I don't want to study any harder than that. So that means you got about a 10-week period. So 10 weeks does, by coincidence, happen to tie into a 2 to 3 month period. But then other people, you know, who can really pound the questions, I've seen them do it in 2 weeks. I've seen a lot of people do it in 2 weeks. That's literally all they did. It was like a boot camp, or their own invented boot camp, but it can be done. 220 hours are the magic. Zetzi305, hi, first time here, long time listener. Found this through Udemy. Are the courses there enough for a career change by themselves? Yes. You got to keep in mind that the stuff that I'm teaching, which is CompTIA, IT Fundamentals, A+, Net+, S Security+, those certs are the entry-level certs. There's over 1,000. There's over 1,000 certifications out there. These are just the starting certificates. These are the basic skills that will get your foot in the door so you can talk to a human resources person, so you can do a technical interview, and you can get an entry-level job. I mean, that's really what it's all about. So, yes. The only thing I would say, Zetzi, is you probably ought to consider getting more practice questions. I don't think Udemy has enough practice questions. What was your experience in landing your first IT job? My first IT job? Probably don't want to talk about that. We could argue that my first IT job was with the Texas Department of Transportation. I had other jobs before that, but I don't want to talk about those. I had these jobs in the very late 80s. And it was an entry-level job, but I just came in with a lot of personality, responsibility, good work ethic. You know, people get tired. You think people get tired of hearing this. Do you know how many times I would just want to go up to somebody and say, can I count on you to show up at work every day at 9 a.m.? You guys would freak out. Eye contact, good handshake, serious-minded, questions about the company you're applying for. Just these basic tool sets can get people into entry-level jobs so easily, just easily. All right, so Svatoslav. So I have a question for you. You got CISSP, you got CISSA, you got CISSM. Why are you talking to me? I am the entry level. I get people started so that in a few years they can get to be where you are now. I am very, very excited that you are talking to me. But my question is why are you here? You seem to have advanced certifications. I would assume that you probably have some bachelor's degrees, university degrees. I'm the one who gets people started on that path so one day they can become CISSPs or CISA. So hopefully that's it. So what exams do you recommend to pass in 2021? None. Do not pass any exams. Oh, now tell me what you want to do. Oh, you're looking to get in IT security? Probably ought to take a look at Security Plus. Get the idea? I'm your entry-level guy. Nicholas Pratt, how many times stronger of a processor do you need to emulate another console? Well, first of all, you have to even assume there's any kind of emulation software out there. And I'm not an expert at all the different gaming consoles and what emulations are available. But there is no perfect number you're looking for, right? How many times stronger? You don't. Also keep in mind, Nicholas, that a lot of emulators are emulating a much simpler piece of hardware. And we end up having to slow them down because, trying to emulate an Atari 2600 on my i9 processor, it could run very, very quickly. So they actually have to slow it down. But there is no number like that. So Václav still wants me to talk about the phishing attacks by creating alert and SIM using well-known phishing resources. But even that's pretty thin. I mean, what is a well-known phishing resource, right? Yeah, I got nowhere else to go with that one. What is the name of the lady who wrote the book about SY0601? Oh, that was Dawn Dunkerley. Dawn Dunkerley. Dr. Dawn Dunkerley. Darn cute Dawn Dunkerley. Happily married Dawn Dunkerley. That's my life. Yeah, Dr. Dunkerley did the 501. Let's see if I can do this without yanking something off the wall. So this is Dawn's book. Excellent book, too, by the way. I enjoyed reading it very much. So here's a great example. We're talking about Wireshark, and 309, here's U for Raymond. Analyzing SIP in Wireshark is cool. I've never done that. I mean, I know that it exists, but I've never even done that. I just don't have much motivation for VoIP type work. I'm not saying I wouldn't, just not my thing. Okay, Dave Rush is reminding that we need more likes. Click that like. Click it now. You like me. I like you. Ah, okay. I'm going to think about that Wireshark stuff because I do like Wireshark quite a bit. And I use it for so many completely different things. Guillermo Moreno, how does your A+ content differ from Messer's? Professor Messer? I think we cover the same stuff. Professor Messer, first of all, he's a superb technician. In terms of raw tech skills, I'd say he's probably smarter than me. I'd like to think that my work has a bit more life and flavor to it. You know, dancing girls is always fun. Or dancing boys, whatever you like. It's all good to me. I think that I work harder to create paths of learning than Professor Messer does. But he's a very dedicated instructor, a very dedicated technician. He's a credit to have him in the CompTIA training world. Trust me, guys, when it comes to training, the more people you have, in general, the better everybody is. It's like having more restaurants on one street as opposed to one restaurant. Very good. I've actually met him once, maybe twice, I don't remember. Mike makes better use of hats in his tuts. My tuts? Like Patricia, I barely know you, and you're talking about my tuts. Divine Mind, how many hours would you suggest for Network Plus? About 150 hours. Taking College Networking Plus course, studying almost daily. Divine Mind, are you using my books in a college? If you are, I'd like to know what college it is. Yeah, that's right. Scott Jernigan also put in there, Divine Mind, you were asking, at the introduction of all my books has a matrix to help you determine how many hours you need to study. Corey Sizemore, do you believe taking Net Plus and Security Plus are minimum for an entry-level job? It's probably overkill. In my opinion, you shouldn't need any certification to get an entry-level job. Now keep in mind, these entry-level jobs are not going to be very exciting, people, all right? You're going to be working from midnight till 7:45 in the morning, monitoring systems, watching for lights to go red, or something exciting like that. But you can never use certificates as a reason to not get a job. Entry-level jobs are what they're called, entry-level, so just go for them. Don't create these false things in here. Just go for those types of jobs. I mean, if you're looking for jobs that are asking for Net Plus or Security Plus, that's great, but you find plenty of work out there. I'm afraid I apologize for people from the Ukraine. I'm terrible. I lost everybody again. Okay, 319, Zetsi again. I understand that the A+ cert will get me through the door, but should I wait until I manage to grab more certs like Network Plus before? No! Zetsi, go get a job now. Stop doing this. See, you're literally... I'm going to tell a story that people say I shouldn't say because it's not politically correct, but I think it's a good story, and I'm going to tell it to you anyway. You may find this hard to believe, Zetsi, but I've never suffered from being overly attractive. and I'm not tall, and I'm a little chubby. But when I was in high school, when I was a late teenager, I would always ask the most beautiful girls out for dates. I just would ask them. And most other people would sit there and say, well, Mike, you're too short and fat and ugly. And I thought to myself, I go, I probably am, but why don't I let them make that decision? I was going to let the girl make that decision. And so that was always been my rule is when I was single, I would always, I didn't think about it. I find all women to be beautiful in one way or another. So, you know, these girls were cheerleaders, whatever it might be. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because there's such a strong parallel today where people start looking for jobs and they just say, oh, I'm not good enough for this job. I'm not good enough for that job. It says entry level, but then it says 3 years of experience. You know what I mean? Apply for the jobs that look like the jobs you want. You'll come in with enthusiasm, you'll come in with confidence, and you'll interview very, very well. Don't be afraid to apply for jobs that you may not have all the qualifications for, especially if it says entry level. I have personally set up entry level jobs where I said entry level 3 years of experience. Do you know why I did that? Because I wanted to scare off the cowards who were afraid to apply. Because if somebody's coming in for an entry level job and if they don't have the experience, they're going to have come up with something else in that interview. And they do. They come up with enthusiasm and motivation and responsibility and humor and, you know, diplomacy and all these other things. I'm sorry, but there's very little in IT that you can't learn, I don't know, in a couple of hundred hours, in my opinion. What I can't teach people is how to be motivated, how to be on time, how to be enthusiastic, how to maintain eye contact. So Zetzi, go find work now. You get more certifications to help build up your skills to get better work. Mark Grease, G-R-I-C-E, Grease. Do you have any plans for a book on PowerShell? Sorry, Mark, I don't. Yeah, that's Dave Rush cracking the whip. Also, does the information covered in Udemy courses ever become outdated? Well, Udemy has hundreds of thousands of courses. So Zetzi, are you talking about my courses that I do on Udemy or the ones that Total Seminars does on Udemy? We retire all of our training if there isn't a certification for it. So like, for example, the Security Plus 501 videos that you watch on Udemy today. Even though there's a Security Plus 601 out, the Security Plus 501 will be around till July of this year. And we know the questions on that test a lot better. So we want everybody to take the SY0 501. No offense to Don Dunkerley, but this is for the 601, and I'm telling everybody to take the 501. If there's ever two exams where the old and the exam overlap in time, always take the old exam. That's not even a question mark. So Zetzi, Udemy has very little controls on what stays up or what goes down. So Udemy certainly has courses up there that are outdated, but none of mine are. I take them down. So Vaslav, you could ask all the questions you want. I'm more worried that I'm not able to answer your questions well. What did Mike think Tuts was? Tuts is Theater Under the Stars. Oh gosh, what are you guys talking about, Math? I don't know what's going on with the Tuts stuff, so I'm going to move on. I'm glad I'm saying funny things out there. Divine Mind, Community College. Purchased additional resources on my own. Happens a lot. Book we follow is Pearson's Cert Guide. But you and Messer help more. That's darn right we do. My book's better. Yeah, you guys are having more fun than me. I can't keep up. Such things should be not PC. I think I said it was okay. Jesse Claburn, 320. God, 320. What happened to this day? AWS or Python? Yes. Which path do you think has more opportunities in the future? I think they're both full of opportunities, but they're very different things. AWS is more of a system architecture kind of a thing, whereas Python is going to be writing code. So it's a matter of joy. You know, Jesse, you can go either way and do extremely well in life. Which one sounds more fun to you? Do that one and you'll be right. Dennis Cole, what's the best option for logging EU off SSO? Dennis, what's EU stand for? Scott, help me out. What's EU? Hang on. 327. Dennis Cole asks, what's the best option for logging EU off of SSO, single sign-on? Dennis, ask me again. Sorry, buddy. I'm not quite sure what you're asking. Something about single sign-on, I guess. Eddie Lagos, is that going to be on the test? Absolutely. Yes, dating advice is on the exam. I'm sorry, it is a perfect analogy that makes sense. And especially when a lot of you guys, and gals, sorry, it's not a gender word. When you guys start saying things like, I'm going to sign up for a bunch of certificates and then get a job, well, it's not the right thing to do. Don't do that. Go to work. Nicholas Pratt, 332. Mike drops the mic. Thank you for the dating story. Yeah, no problem. Shara Muhammad. Shara, did you and I just become LinkedIn connected today? Is that the same, Muhammad? Because you spell it the way this other fella did today. Mike, do you recommend taking 007 or wait for 008? Come on, guys. What am I going to tell Shara Muhammad? Should I take the 007 or wait for the 008? You always take the earlier exam. You always take the earlier exam. Nobody's ever going to ask you which exam you took on any certification, not just IT, on anything. They're going to want to know when you took it. But nobody cares which cert if they were both. No one cares. No one even notices. Take the 007. Dan Richard, is that end users off of single sign-on? It could be, Dan. I'm not sure. I'm going to give him a chance to ask. Or also, keep in mind, always remember, guys, you're always welcome to send any question to me via email. And I'm always glad to answer them that way as well. Just send an email to michaelm@totalsem.com, and I am here for you. 007. Darn right, kids. Darn right. Andrew Parrish. Hey, Mike. Are you aware of MEMS Trojan or ever run it on a Windows VM for kicks MEMS Trojan? No, but I'm looking it up. Let me guess. It's 30 years old. No, it's only 4 years old. That's not so bad. Never heard of it. So why do you want me to know about this? I'm just looking it up. There's a Wikipedia article for MEMS, M-E-M-Z. I'll leave it open for later fun reading. Scott Jernigan, you and me need to be talking on the phone after today's chat. Matsuo, where can I find your video on how to make a resume again? Matsuo, it's right here on YouTube in the Total Seminars channel. You can just go to the Total Seminars channel. You know how to find the channel, right? You're halfway in it now. And just do a search within the channel and just look up resume. Just do a search for resume here in the Total Seminars channel. And there's more than one video, by the way. Logic has rebug. Hey, Mike, you ever going to come out with new courses? What do you mean? I come out with new courses all the time. We've got a new Security Plus that is getting put together now. Guys, I got to tell you that the COVID really jacked with a lot of people, myself included. It's been very hard to get other teachers to show up because they don't want to get sick in Houston, Texas. I don't blame them. But we come out with new courses all the time. Zetzi, what kind of job should I realistically expect to get with an A+ certification? Hey Zetzi, why don't we ask a more important question? What kind of jobs should you expect without any certification? Well, those are going to be entry-level jobs. My buddy Jessica Dickerson and I a few months ago did a entry-level IT security jobs video that you should watch. But any job without any certification is going to be entry-level, and it's going to be you're going to make $11 an hour, maybe $15 an hour tops. But keep in mind, anybody who has any skill at all, you're not making $11 an hour for very long at all. 3 months, 6 months tops. When you get started in the IT industry, it is normal and common for you to jump around on jobs for your first couple of years. People don't freak out about that. So you pick out a job that you like as best you can, and if you don't like it, you quickly move on to other jobs. So let's say you get some crappy IT job like as a salesperson, and you have no certification. So what you're doing is you start going for the A+, and you get the A+ certification. That's going to put you a job maybe with Dell. It's going to get you a job with companies like Micro Center. I used to say Fry's Electronics, but they're gone now. And also Best Buy, although even Best Buy right now is in a layoff scenario, which surprises me. I would have thinking people would need their computers fixed more now than they ever have before. But so the jobs you're going to be getting are very simple jobs. You're probably going to be driving around in a van someplace and doing simple repairs, upgrading operating systems, replacing mice, teaching people how to connect to their wireless network. All these kind of simple entry-level type job things. And from there, it moves forward. Medina Dorp at 336. I find your courses very cheerful and educational. Thank you very much. They love me. They really love me. Only I have a tip. Ah, good. Here's a but. All right, what do you got here? Only I have a tip, and that is with some screen presentations, you are not always zoomed in close, making it difficult to read. Oh boy, okay. Now, you know what, Andy? I'm going to give you that one because that is a big challenge. And now this one doesn't count because it's live and I have to put stuff up in real time. But in general, we do try to work with that. And I do try to zoom in a lot. I'll keep that in mind. I'm very sorry. But thank you for the constructive criticism. Thao Tran, are there any IT tracks that will become obsolete? Yeah, probably. But so what? Just because a track becomes obsolete, that doesn't prevent you from being able to jump into new tracks. It doesn't prevent 90% of the knowledge that you have, which is still valid. You learned about IP addresses or whatever it might be. So, yeah. Thautran, find something that sparks joy, man. I mean, I know people who just go nuts configuring Cisco routers. That just makes them happy. I know other people who just love optimizing individual systems. You know, find where your joy is and do it. Well, that's right. We had Elaine Batzer on one of those as well. I forgot about that. Am I ever going to come out with new courses? That's all I do. I mean, almost all these books I've written at one time or another, and then you just write another book. Work. Mohammed Abbas. Mike, I just graduated and start my network job in a small company and picked yes! I just picked the network, Mohammed, what's the network domain? Did you get welovemikemyers.com? No? Damn, okay. Well, Mohammed, you can't leave me hanging. What's the domain? What's your domain name? I gotta know. MohammedAbbas.com. I should look that up. Okay. Smarticus71. If you're using CertMaster, they're a competitor of mine. I'm not going to say whether they're good or they're bad. They suck. But what I can tell you is that I can't tell you if you're doing 90% on a competitor if that's good. You know, I can't answer that for you. I guess it's better than if you're doing 10% on a competitor's, right? Yes, Andre, COVID does stink. I'm looking forward for it going away as well. So Andrew Parrish, 337, just trying to run it, but only wanting to do it on a VM, of course, so I don't screw up my own computer. Sure. Under. Oh, that's right. Now I see. Okay, Andrew, thank you. Yeah, you would definitely, if you want to play with that kind of stuff, running it in a VM. Also, keep in mind, just because you're running a VM, don't have it in bridged mode or anything like that. Make sure it's on its own separate network. I don't know enough. So Andrew's like, he wants to play with this MEMZ. I don't know enough about MEMZ as to what to safely disable. There is no one list of things to disable that you should turn off. What you want to do is make sure that it's a separate network. That's all. That would be the only thing I'd look at. But Andrew Parrish, that's exactly why we use VMs, is to play around with stuff like that. Crazy Homebody Girl, how do you explain the change in jobs to interviewers? We'll just say, I'm a crazy homebody girl. Again, crazy homebody girl, most of the time, jumping around in jobs, especially in the first 2 years of your IT career, it's just what everybody does. There's nothing to explain. Most interviewers are going to look at that and go, you know, if anybody were to say anything about jumping around 3 or 4 jobs in your first 2 years, my response would be, you know, I'm still trying to kind of zero in. And in fact, that's what makes this interview particularly good, is because, you know, these other jobs where I was learning and growing helped me find you. Ooh, that's a great line. You'll have to say, courtesy of Mike Myers, anytime you say that line, because collectively they help me find you. Wow, I'd be Uncle Flement if somebody said that to me. in an interview. Maven, you say Best Buy is still mostly retail, but I'll tell you, about the only repair guys I still see out there are Best Buy guys. Yeah, Jonathan, when blue names are taking over the chat, that's Scott Jernigan. His job is to be out here and help me out. Mm, 346. 3:42 p.m. Paolo Tosato. Paolo Tosato. I'm trying to move from administrative to IT security job. I can't leave current job now and don't live in the U.S. What type of online job or even volunteer online job can I do to gain experience? God, policy. Again, this is one of these things where if you were in the States, it would be a lot easier for me to answer. Here, Paulo, do me a favor. Paulo, Paulo, send me an email. Tell me about your situation. Usually if I know what country you're in, maybe what city you're in, if I get to know you a little bit, a lot of times I can point you in a better direction. I mean, I could say some pretty silly things right now, but let's see if we can get you some really good information. Oh, David Rush got my reference to sudden impact. I don't know if I fired 5 bullets, 6 bullets, or just 5. Do I feel lucky, punk? Sorry. Mad Axe Adig. I learned a lot from your books. Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you, Mad Axe. I'm an atheist, but still appreciate it. Appreciate the sentiment. Smarticus, you're doing 90% or better with my practice exams. You need to just take the test. You're fine. Hey, and Smarticus, you're more than allowed to talk to me about competitors. I have no issue with that. I'm always glad to talk about them, but I'm going to be honest. I have many competitors who I think are excellent. Professor Messer's got some great stuff. Not a big fan of CertMaster. Half as good and twice as expensive. Maven Feliciano, minimum specs for VM's recommendations. There's no really any minimum specs, but what you are going to be looking at is what does a machine that's going to be running a hypervisor, what does it have to do compared to another type of machine? And in most cases, the big thing that a virtual machine is going to need is tons of RAM. You're not going to run into any questions on A+ or Net+ that are going to say, you should have this much RAM for a VM, you should have this much for a graphics workstation, you should have this much for a thin client. You're not going to get numbers like that. But they are going to be relative, right? So which one of these machines do you think has the best graphics card in it? The virtual machine, the graphics workstation, or a thin client? It's the graphics workstation. Well, it couldn't be anything else. So those are really the way you should look at those types of questions. You're not going to be running into absolute numbers. It's always relative. Scott Jernigan wants to do a giveaway. You guys want to do a giveaway? Should I give something away today? Somebody type in there and say, yes, if you want me to give something away. Otherwise, I'm not giving anything away. Nothing for you. Nothing at all. No hope of any kind. Anybody want me to do this? I'm going to keep that MEMS open. I want to check that out. Oh, got lots of people. Okay. I'm digging up some questions. Bear with me. How much time we got, Scott? 10 minutes? All right. Guys, I don't think I can do any more questions today. I'm going to instead do... We're going to do some practice questions. You guys ready? Okay, here we go. Guys, I don't know the answers to these off the top of my head, so we're just going to go for it. It's all real here, people. It's all real. Okay. First question. Okay, a couple of rules before I go into it. These are multiple choice questions. Do not write down A, B, C, or D. Won't count, all right? You actually have to write down the answer as best you can. Number 2, this is not a fair competition. All of the different chat windows appear at different ways. I'm going to pick the first person to answer something, okay? And if you think you're the first person, to me, you might be the 7th person. So you can't use that as a criteria. And the bottom line is whatever I say goes, goes. So here we go. What does ECC RAM provide that non-ECC DRAM does not? I see the answer already. All right, guys, show me an answer. ECC RAM, much lower response rate, lower temperature, enables error checking and correcting, or enables synchronous data transfers. Do not write A, B, C, or D. Write them out a little bit. All right, we're looking for our first answer here. I'm looking for answers. Yes, 42. I'm going to be arriving at port 80, head, DHCP 65535. I was first, not fair, underdog. I'm looking for the winner. It provides error correction. All right, so I declare the winner is Andrew Parrish. Andrew Parrish, you are the winner. Congratulations. You get your choice of either A+, Net+, or Security Plus practice questions. In order to receive your prize, all you have to do, Andrew, is send an email to Kathy, that's Kathy with a K, Kathyy, at totalsem.com. Send her an email. Number 1, put your name, put Andrew Parrish in there so she knows who you are on YouTube. Secondly, make a... Tell her which one you want. You want A+, Net+, or Security Plus. You can choose any one of those. And that's all you got to do. Send her an email, and you will get a response. Congratulations to you. All right. That was your first win, Andrew? I thought you'd won before. All right, guys. I'm going to do one more. Let's do one more. You ready? Wow, I don't even know the answer to this one. Let's try one that I don't know the answer to. So remember, whatever I say is the answer wins. So with that attitude in mind, kids, let's get this out of the way. Let's get this out of the way harder. Okay, wearable technology devices used to track personal activity use. What technology to determine user activity levels? So they're not trying to GPS you here, folks. They're trying to figure out how hard are you working out. Do we use an inverter, gyroscope, digitizer, or accelerometer? This is actually a very, very good A+ question. I say it's D for accelerometer. Let's see what everybody else says. Oh, got lots of accelerometers. Lots and lots of accelerometers. Carla Wayne went for gyroscope. Ulysses Farrar is the first one to do accelerometer. Ulysses, congratulations to you, sir. Oh, Kathy's actually online right now, guys. So if you're looking to get your awards filled, Kathy's literally monitoring this channel. So Ulysses, congratulations to you, sir. you win your choice of either A+, Net Plus, or Security Plus practice questions. Ulysses, do remember to send your email to kathyy, kathyy, at total7.com. Make sure that she has your name, your Ulysses for our name that you use here. Let her know which one of those you want, and she will get that to you. So congratulations to you, Ulysses. Well done, sir. All right, we just got a couple minutes left. Sean McLaughlin, sorry I entered 3 times by mistake. Nobody cares. Catherine, nobody cares about spelling. It's all good. Always have fun. Oh, Ulysses doesn't want it. Hold on. Ulysses is passing it. Mr. G. Mr. G, then you are the winner. Mr. G, congratulations to you. You were in second place. Ulysses passed it on. So, Mr. G, in order to get your prize, you got to send an email to kathyy, that's Kathy with a K, kathyy, at total7.com. Just send her an email, tell her which one you want. Make sure to put your Mr. G name in the email so we know who you are. And congratulations to you. You are the second winner today. Temisian Popo, give it to me. Temisan Popo, come back next time. We do this almost every Monday or Wednesday. I'm not saying we do it every time. And we usually get nowhere between, 40 to 70 people in here. So it's not like you're splitting it too much. So Temisan Popo, y'all come back now, you hear? And then we'll make sure that you're in there as well. All right. Cool. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Do keep in mind, number 1, 50% off all of our practice questions and practice bundles. Just go to www.total7.com. Scott Jernigan will put all that information in there for you so that you can take advantage of the 50% off for practice questions. That's always there. Congratulations to our 2 winners who won free access. Now remember, these are online. It's not forever. I think it's 90 days or 180. You're going to have to talk to Kathy. I can never remember what she offers. But those are out there for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's really, really important. I will not be back on until next Monday. However, my buddy Dave Rush will be doing how to do balloon animals with a Raspberry Pi. I don't even know what that means. I am making joke. I make a joke. It's okay. All right. So anyway, guys, I am out of here. I will be on the what you do call it channel, Discord channel, in actually pretty quickly here. I'll be on sooner than later. So guys, if you're going to be on Discord, you're welcome to come on just with your keyboard and mouse if you want, but grab a headset and talk to us and say hello. It's a big bunch of, wildly unattractive guys and a couple of very, very attractive women in there. So it's no big deal. And you can just come in and be comfortable, ask any kind of questions you want. They might tease you a little bit, but we'll just tease them back if they're too mean. But I really do think that this Discord channel can really turn into a wonderful resource for people. Even if you don't feel like getting on right now, you can just go to this Discord channel, post a question, and somebody's going to answer it for you. Kathy does not have all of the winners, both of the winners, responding yet. Cool. Nicholas Pratt is happy. All right. Metsuo, the Discord channel, it gets posted up here quite a bit. Metsuo, I see the Discord channel about 15 posts before your post. Maven Feliciano, I need to upgrade for my keyboard in the meantime. That's fine. There's absolutely no problem with it. Richard Christensen, lots of smarty pants. Richard, that is okay. We all kind of goof around a little bit and have some fun. I'd rather that than the other way. All right, guys, I am out the door. It is 4 o'clock. I will see you guys who wants to join the Discord. And I won't be on too terribly long today, but I'll be on. Give me about 10 minutes and I'll be on the Discord channel. And then I am there to answer questions, or if you just want to talk about the weather, I'm there just as well. All right, guys, so I'm out the door. Be sure to be here next Friday at 2 o'clock for Dave Rush's drama. And I'll be back next Monday. So until then, this is your little Uncle Mikey saying good night. Good